All right. Good morning from here. Good afternoon to wherever you are, and good morning to wherever you are. Um, I decided to do something. I decided to do something. I decided to do something, and I am. Listen, today is Friday, I believe. Yes, today is Friday. Sometimes it's challenging for me to keep up with what day it is because I'm in such movement. I am happy to be alive. That's number one. I'm very grateful. I am excited about my future. Hold on, I lost a little light here. What happened? There we go. I'm excited. Um, I am alive. I am well. I am grateful. I'm thankful. And I wanted to make this video because it's interesting. Something's really set on me. And I like to definitely take negatives and turn them to positives if possible. Sometimes you have to talk about the things that are going on, but I want to help us, especially to those that are listening for change and not listening for critique, uh, being critical with their hearing. I don't know how you're going to be able to criticize what I'm about to do now, but I am here. Actually, I'm in Houston, Texas today, and I am um, excited. I love life. I love people. I've always been like a genuine. I've always been genuine. If I didn't fool with you, I didn't fool with you. And if I didn't fool with you or don't, it is for a reason. But I don't disrespect you because I don't fool with you. I keep you out of my space and I stay out of your space. And I've learned that throughout the years, just by living and knowing what I'm willing to put up with and what I'm not willing to put up with. And I want to share something with you all. Some of you have been following my page and you've been seeing what's been happening. I want to shine a different light today. Well, I'm going to shine a light regardless. Sometimes, in order to shine the light on the positive, you need to shine a light on that negative because it takes negatives and positives, right, to bring forth some type of meshing. You need for people to be able to see what's going on, and also you need people to see how to deal with or handle the things that you are dealing with or have had to deal with. And so it's very important. And I want to share this because it's going to change generations if people will listen and if people will follow and if people are willing to change. So I want to go at a different pace today. I have a little more time today to talk. And I want you all to share this video. I really try to keep my videos public. Those and welcome to those of you that are on my YouTube channel that's listening right now. If you whatever platform you're on, please either go to my YouTube Battles and Journeys, and you can also go to my Facebook. I don't have Instagram up, but I'm about to do some new things. Or let me just not talk about that. I'm headed in a direction and that I want to change things, and if I can change help people change and view things differently, it'll keep you from being so um, scattered and upset because if you everything that's done to you, if you take it personal, it's going to be personal. Oh. And so hold on one second, I need to put my phone on. Just one moment. I need to put my phone on do not disturb. Un momentito, por favor. uh, Settings. Right, notifications. I know I'm talking out loud. I have to. Oh my goodness. Um, just one second, y'all. If y'all see me on live or Facebook, please refrain from calling me because it knocks me off. Connections. Oh Lord. How come I don't know how to do not disturb? Hold on 1 second, please. I do apologize. There's no excuse why I'm not tech savvy, and I want to change that. Notifications do not disturb. Amazing. Only if I can just remember how to turn it. Um, only to remember to turn this do not disturb off. Okay, I think we're there. We're there. I believe we're there. All right, resume. All right, I do apologize here. Those of you that are watching, I want because I think all of us have the same type of experiences, and if you are human, you're gonna go through. We have a lot of similarities, and we go through things, whatever that looks like for you, and it's going to be. I mean, it's just human nature. You're gonna go through things. And so I want to take this opportunity because I have shared the light on some of the things that I am experiencing currently in my family 8.5 years later. Those of you know that we lost our mother, or our mother transitioned 8.5 years ago. And there's some things that are still lingering. Like there are people who are still at odds, and I can't explain. I know why, but I don't understand why at this age and stage of their lives that they choose to continue to war and to fight. A lot of that is they're fighting their own darkness, their inner darkness on the inside. They're fighting their own demons, as we can call it, whether you want to call it demons or darkness. And they're fighting their own insecurities. They are fighting their own stuff. And so they lash out against you or them, and or whoever they're lashing out at, in they're at odds with themselves, honestly, and it's a pitiful state to be in, especially when you come and hit a certain uh, age. Doesn't mean maturity. I would like to use age and maturity. You would think after a certain age, double digits, that people will become mature. That's not necessarily the case for many. People are getting older, but they're not maturing. They're getting older, but they're not getting better. They're getting older and they've not dealt with that inward darkness, inward struggle, inward um, uh, uh, trauma, because somewhere or another, sometimes they've been traumatized. And sometimes it is just mental, it's a lot of it is mental illness, but we cannot confuse mental illness with somebody just being nasty and evil and wicked and dark. And, you cannot. And it's so important that we got to shine the light on this to even talk about how do you move forward when you are in a certain space of your life where you have those who supposed to love you are fighting you over nothing, their own insecurities, their own inability to whatever the case may be. And people have different reasons why they struggle, and a lot of times it is an undealt trauma that they refuse to face. It turns into jealousy, it turns into hate, it turns into strife, it turns into maliciousness, and they will not deal with it because they're afraid. They don't like looking at what's in them. So people will continue to keep their stuff inside, and they will fight you with that weapon of trauma, undealt with trauma, and they'll fight you with it and make it look like it's you when really they're fighting themselves. It's a dark, deep darkness that they have not dealt with. And if you don't confront it, it won't change. If you don't confront your childhood issues, your childhood insecurities, you'll see them as you get older. Your childhood stuff is showing up in your adult years. People are bickering right now about stuff in their childhood, and they can't seem to surmount that. They can't seem to get over it. Not talking about it is not going to change the situation. Sometimes people feel like, let me just hush, I'll just shut up, I won't talk about it. But it's a build up. It is a building up of frustration. It's sometimes building up of evils and trying to manipulate and trying to find out how do you destroy or get people to turn against people that you don't like. Let me tell you, there are people I know, even in my family, that do not like me and don't like me not because I did something to them, it's because I stand up to them. And some people just hate the fact that you can stand up to them. And they hate the fact that you can disagree with them agreeably. And you can, hey, what's happening? Um, you can stand up to them, and they hate the fact that you can stand 10 toes down and stand against what they're doing, what they're saying, calling them out. And some people just don't like that. And I have people in my family like that, especially the one that's a narcissist. Narcissist and narcissistic people don't like when you challenge them, question them, and you stand up to them. I don't have a problem with that. I would tell you how I feel, and we can disagree agreeably. We don't see. You don't have to fall. You don't have to disagree. You don't have to fall out because you disagree. I mean, like who raised you all? Who raised you? You know that you would fall out, or excuse me, have a disagreement and then you fall out. Sometimes your teeth will bite your tongue. Your tongue got in the way, and your teeth bit your tongue. But does that mean you pluck out your teeth because it bit your tongue? Does it mean that you pluck out and cut out your tongue because your tongue got in the way of the teeth and that your teeth bit your tongue? No. You move around cautiously. You don't cut it out, destroy it because it had a disagreement, it had a run in. Like where is your spine? Who raised you to be like this? What did you see? What is in your DNA that will cause you to try to destroy something or someone that disagrees with you? We're gonna have a lot of disagreement. You don't have to fall out because you have a disagreement, you just have a disagreement. But a narcissist believes if you disagree with me and you don't do it my way, they are going to do all that they can to destroy you, to do all that they can to turn people against you. Anytime you have to campaign and call people up and get people to come on your side and you start fighting a person, that means you're weak. Number one, the person that you have had to gather people against, that means somehow or another they are very strong people that you have had to get a multitude of people to try to think like you, believe like you, feel like you, and fight the same person that you fight. And these people, they don't have a dog in the fight. Like they just come together, and it is a very weak-minded person or weak-minded people. And we see a lot of that, weak-minded people that will allow somebody else to turn somebody else against them. You understand? So I want to aim at something. I want to talk about something because it is a reality. It is my reality, but I want to help my people out. I want to talk to my people, and anybody that wants to, you want, you're going to go through this. Trust me. When family member dies, and now everybody ain't gonna come together to take care of them, but they gonna sure all come together to see what they can get from the person that died that they didn't take care of, or the person that they fought. And we all go through it. Some you may not think you're going to go through it, but I want to help you and prevent you from having to deal with some of the stuff that I am dealing with at this present moment. Some of you saw my lives, and when you see me come out, because there's only so many times you're going to be able to poke a lion, and you don't think that lion is going to come back and retaliate, right? Not in a retaliation of I'm going to get you back. It is I'm tired of you poking me, and but when I come out, my teeth is going to be teeth of truth. My teeth would be teeth of honesty, and I'm going to bite and I'm going to strike in a way to get you back in order, or at least it is not vindictive or viciousness. There's just You are not going to poke a lion constantly and then think that lion ain't going to rise up and stand to the occasion. And by the time you see me rising up, some time has gone by and I know what's going on. And I just sit back and I watch and I analyze and I have to tell myself, is this the time? What should I do? It's the wisdom in that. Hey, Vivian, it's wisdom in that. Hey, Latanya, it's wisdom in not striking just because somebody at every, you don't move at every bite, at every strike, but you have to sit back and say, is it even worth my energy? Is it even worth my time? And the moment I find out it is worth my time and it is worth my energy, and I want you to know I know what you're doing and what you did, then I'm coming forth full fledged, gas foot on the pedal, and I'm coming out with the truth. Right now, it's important. Every family goes through this. I watch, well, let me just say this. You're chosen. And let me say this to every parent that's on here. I got nieces and nephews that are parents, and I love them dearly. But what I don't want is for them to go through what I'm going through at this very moment with my siblings, their parents, right? So let me just share a little bit with you before I get to my point, because I really want to redirect us. I really want to redirect the situation. I want to take what's negative and I want to turn the light on it and I want to turn it into something positive. And my goal has always been to let's make a difference, right? And sometimes, in order to make a difference, you got to do a little cutting under the skin and get cut that disease and expose that disease, because that's what it is. And you pluck that disease out and then you sew it back up and then you leave them, let them heal, right? I don't believe it's like a doctor. First of all, the oath that they take is do no harm. It is not, my cutting is not to do any harm. My cutting sometimes is in a response to a disease or an infection. Let me just say that. Sometimes you have infection in your family, and there are those who would try to poison you against the people that they hate. They'll rally against you, and they'll bring people in. But that means you're strong. If they got to gather people to come in to be against you, if they got to get other people to come in to fight you, you are a powerful force. Anytime they have to get people, they have to campaign against one person. You, my friend, you, man, woman, are a very powerful person and you don't even know it. You don't know the power that you carry. You don't know the power that you walk in when people have to get other people to side with them so they can all fight you. You are a very powerful individual, but you walk in humility. You walk in who you are. You know who you are. And sometimes you can know. I know for me, sometimes I can know what you're doing and I'll keep moving. I know what you did and I'll keep moving, because every time a snake is exposed to you, it is not for you to expose the snake, right? If God allows you to discern that you are in the midst of snakes, those are sneaky, sly, slithery, venomous, viperous types of people. And they're coming, they smile on their face, but you can see those fangs. They'll smile, they'll laugh with you, they will eat with you, they will drink with you, but there's a hiss behind their words. And people don't even understand that you can hear the hiss when people are smiling and when people are laughing and when people are drinking and when people are having an amazing time. But if you have a discerning ear, a discerning eye, you can hear this hiss in their laugh. You can hear the hissing in their speech. Oh God, why am I even doing this? You can hear that, but it takes discernment. You can see the hissing in their walk, in their movement, their body language, their response, their reaction. You can see the hiss, hear the hiss, And anytime a snake, a viper is in the midst of you, it's not always necessary to broadcast that these are snakes. That's a snake. He's a viper. She's venomous. It is when that is revealed to you, it is not always for you to strike at the snake. Ooh, it's funny. It is not always for you to strike the snake. It's not always meant for you at the moment to cut the head off of the snake. It is not always meant for that. When you discern and when you know it's been revealed to you that snakes are in your midst, and sometimes those snakes, unfortunately, are your family members. They're your coworkers. They are people that say that you're your friends. It is simply for you to know how to move amongst the snakes, how to maneuver, because they don't know that they are snakish. So when you know that you are surrounded by venomous snakes, you know what to share, how much to share, how much information to give, and you know how much to hold back. Sometimes the snake that is in your midst, it's not for you to get on the telephone and tell people that's a snake or to broadcast that's a snake. It is for you to move about with wisdom. That's, oh, Vivian, you got it, sis. Know them that labor amongst you, but stop. Sometimes it's not important to strike at the moment. Sometimes it's not important to take an axe and cut their head off at the moment. You need, because you can also learn from a snake. Then the scripture said, be wise as a serpent. Because what does a serpent do? The serpent study its prey. They watch your movement. They see when you go in and when you come out. They're looking for a pattern. So if once they get your pattern down pat, they know how to try to circumvent and come in, be outside of the pattern that will catch you off guard. They'll try to strike you and bite you off guard because they've watched your pattern long enough to know what you're going to do. And that's why I said, be wise as a serpent. You need to watch folks' patterns. You need to watch their behavior. You need to watch, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. It is so important. So when you know that there are snakes, I've been knowing about the snakes in my family a long time, but they never brought it to their attention because for years I've watched their patterns. I've watched just people around me, even in the church. For years I've watched their patterns. I watched how they move. I watched their response. I watched how they handle things. And I'm thinking, okay, get the grasp the wisdom from this. Extract the wisdom from this. See how they move with that person? That's their nature. That's their nature. That is their nature. And so you watch the pattern to understand their nature. A snake is slick, slithery, wiggly. It watches, it's deceitful, and it make you look. They can change colors, they shed their skin, but they don't shed their nature. They shed their skin, they come out of that skin, but it's still a snake. They'll change their clothes, they'll change their environment. It's still a snake. They'll change, they'll change colors, but it's still a snake. The nature of it is to strike, bite, and to be deceptive. That's a snake. That's right. Play the role of a fool that they think they're fooling you. Absolutely. This is why it's important. Sometimes they will, you can laugh with them, but you hear the hissing behind the laugh. You can eat with them, but you hear the hissing between the bites and the chews. You know you sitting eating with a snake. You learn from it though. You watch the patterns. You watch the patterns, right? I didn't even mean to go here, but what I am saying is, it, it, a snake is a snake, and venom, viper is viperous. right? So all the it's not necessary all the time to point out who is a snake. It is for you to learn, and it's also for you to know what to share, when to share, and what not to share amongst the hissing. There's a hissing, and you can hear it if you discern. You hear it in the speech, hear it in the laugh, hear. But my here's what I my point is. Uh, the point of this whole video, because I want my family to know. First of all, I've always shown love to my family. That's absolutely. First of all, I've always shown love to my family. I've always been consistent. Now I know those who haven't been consistent with me, and I still was consistent with them. And sometimes when you call them out on their hissing and their venom and their viperousness, then they really start showing their true colors, and they'll start revealing who they are. And all of a sudden, not only do they have a hiss, they'll open their mouth to try to bite and strike. But I've always known, but by watching the patterns, I always known who they were and who they are. So because I've sat back and I've watched, and I'll never forget. Nobody taught me this. This is what I've yes, move accordingly. Know where they are. Know their pattern. So what I want my family to know, especially my nephews and nieces, those I love them, uh, and uh, there's really nothing you can't do anything about my love for you. And even those that have sided with their venomous father, I love them too, but I know how to keep my distance when you've already shown the strike and the bite and the deception. I can love you from a distance. Me not dealing with you doesn't speak of my love for you, because love is who I am and love is what I do. But sometimes my love has to discipline you. In other words, I have to correct your actions or speak out against your actions, right? And what I want to do with this video, this is my goal, because I want my nephews and nieces to listen to this, because I don't want you going through what I went through or what I'm going through right now. All right. So back up. Our mother has been gone for 8.5 years. Yes, I was her power of attorney. No, I didn't live in the same state. Um, absolutely, Trey. He said, I'm a beat. Our parents used to beat us. Our parents used to discipline us and say, I'm beating you because I love you, but this don't feel good. No, I'm loving you because I got to whip. I have to discipline you, right? That's my love for you. A parent that doesn't discipline their child or children, you don't love them, because you have to discipline them, teach them the ways. So I don't want to get off track, because I have a goal. I have a place that I'm going with this. I want my nephews and nieces to hear this, because I do not want them to experience what I'm experiencing right at this moment. So, no, I didn't live in the state that my mother lived in. Yes, I was there when she went to the hospital. Yes, I took flights to come and sit there in the hospital for weeks at a time. Yes, I would drive in at times. If she was in the hospital, I was in the hospital. Yes, and I didn't live in the same state. Yes, I was her power of attorney. Yes, I'm gonna say it again. I was her power of attorney. Yes, I was her full power of attorney. Yes, I was her full power of attorney. Don't make me add a tune to it. Where's that organ? Where's that big three? I can say yes. Oh, okay. So yes, 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 yes. All of that. But again, uh, how do I say this without? I don't want to be. I don't want to sound condescending as either, because I can be, and I try not to be condescending. Understand that this tongue has is sharper than any two-edged sword. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying, and I try to use wisdom with, because you can either butcher a thing or you can use a scaffold, right? Both gonna hurt, But when you butcher it and you take you don't it ooh you don't butcher everything. Some people just butcher their relationships, and when you butcher something, blood goes everywhere. People get people are blood splatter on people, things, everything around it. But when you use a scaffold, you are using with great precision, and that's what I choose to do. Is to use great precision, and I cut where it needs to be cut. Now I can cut around it and butcher that up. I don't have a desire to do that, but I can, but I don't have a desire to that. I have the capabilities, but I don't have a desire. I can cut you up so bad that you won't really realize that you've been cut until you get home and you realize you need a blood transfusion. But that's not where I'm at. I could, but I choose not to do it. Right. So I, yes, I was all of that. My mother, it's eight of us. Yes, I'm the baby or the last. I always consider my brother Earl the baby because I tell you, listen, now in chronological order, he was the baby and then I became the last. But I still feel like I'm just the last child. And my brother is the baby because, listen, we were both mama boys, right? And so he just handled things differently. He's gonna get the job done. He's gonna butcher it. Listen, I love him, but he's gonna handle it differently, right? Um, I just choose I just choose a way to try to, it's still gonna hurt. It's still gonna be a little blood that comes from it, but I try to cut with precision. But I also want to cut to heal, not cut to kill. See, a lot of you cutting to kill, cutting to kill relationships. You cutting, you butchering it up. I don't. When you butcher something, you're butchering it to kill it. Like, but when you cutting with precision, you cutting to heal. A doctor don't cut to kill; they cut to heal. They precisely cut, remove it, and then they sew you back up and your body heals itself. I want to be the person that cuts to heal. I might have to cut you, but I'm not gonna butcher you. I'm not. I pray not. Um, I'm not into malpractice. I'm not gonna try to cut you to the point because I can see. I know I can. I have the capabilities of when you go low, I can really go lower. I can really go down into the deepest. I can go so deep into hell, but it's a waste of my energy to do that. It doesn't benefit me. It doesn't bring peace, and anything that doesn't pull peace into my life, I don't want it at this stage and place of my life. I don't want it. So you're gonna cut to heal or cut to kill. You butcher things to kill it, but you you cut to heal because I want you to heal, and I want my I declare I want my nephews and nieces, all of them, even the one with the toxic father. I want them to hear this. I want them to hear it because what you seeing me go through, what you seeing me go, what things that you're seeing me going through right now within the family based on uh, hate, jealousy, insecurities, because of a choice that was made. A choice was made that the younger would be the power of attorney, that the younger, and I want to say to you, when you are chosen by parents, sometimes they'll choose one, sometimes they'll choose two, sometimes they'll choose three. Parents need to know what they can get from their children in their latter years. It comes, listen, my grandmother used to say these words. Hey, Naomi, my mother used to say these words. My grandmother, once a man, twice a child. I understood that as I got older, meaning it's going to only be one time you're going to be an adult. You're going to be able to do things for yourself, but you're going to hit two levels in your life where you're going to be a child and you can't do for yourself. That's the day you're born. That's the child, right? Once a man is when you're growing up, maturing, you're doing things on your own, but then you're gonna go on this slope because that's life. You're gonna start small. You're gonna grow up and start doing things on your own in the middle, but then you're gonna go on this slope where now you're gonna need somebody again to take care of you. You started out, somebody had to take care of you. In the middle, you took care of yourself, and at the end, you need someone to take care of you. Once a man, that's that middle, twice a child, the beginning and the end. You see, I understood that as I got older. So every parent makes decisions, and every parent watches their children. They know they watch you they feel you and sense you when you're in their stomach, right? Every child, every parent does this. Every parent. They know what child is going to be feisty. They watched you as children and growing up, they watch how you handle family. They watch how you handled each other, and they watched and paid attention to how you handled them. Some children are not as affectionate as other towards the parents. You cannot have multiple children and expect for all of them to have the same personality. Parents treat children according to their personality. You can love them the same, but your interactions are different because the personality of that child is different than that other child. So parents watch personalities. They love my mother loved all of us, all eight of us. She loved us. And a thing she wouldn't do for us. She would take the shirt off her back to give us. She worked hard. She did all of those things for all of us. But she also realized now, this child right here, I watched him as a kid. I watched him in his adulthood. I watched him. He moved like this because they're watching your movement. And they are already discerning who's going to be the people or person that is going to they already know who they want to be surrounded by to take care of different matters in their lives because they have watched all of us. They know the one that would have put them, they know the one the moment they call for sneeze wrong. They know the one that's going to put them right into a nursing home because they don't want to be bothered. They don't have the time. Does that make them a bad child? Not necessarily, unless you're just evil and wicked and you're trying to get something from them. They just know you don't have the patience and the wherewithal to take care of them. They know you'll push them off to a system. And then they know the ones, let me just say this, they have watched all of us grow up. So when they make decisions about their latter years and what that they would love for all of us to be around, but all of us can't do the same thing. All of us don't have the capabilities of doing the same thing. We can only bring to the table what we can bring to the table, right? As we grow up, we are we are maturing, we're learning, we're shifting, um, we are growing for the most part. Some people don't grow. I got family members right now that just will not grow. And they're in their 60s. They're still stuck on the same, and that's okay. That's who they are. But she knew not to choose that one. She knew the one that was going to slam her right into the nursing home if she coughed wrong. She knew. She knew the one that was just after money. She knew. That's it. Some parents watch you. They know. They know who you are. So when they choose you, and whoever they choose to take care of them in their latter years, what I would say to my nephews and nieces, please, because you see it, it's happening right now, 8.5 years later. Them people that I got siblings that are still fighting me because I was her power of attorney. She's dead. She's gone. And you're fighting. She's gone and you're still fighting over what she chose, who she chose. Now, I said it before. Does that make me better? Does that make me better than any of my other siblings? No. She loved us all. When you parents, when you choose your children, you're not choosing them because you love them more. You choosing them based on what you have witnessed. One child, some can be more affectionate, more loving, or showing their love because everybody can love, people can love, but they don't know how to express how they feel about you. Because especially men, we weren't taught in the black family years ago how to be expressive. But there was no excuse to remain that way. As we grow up, we learn and we grow. And it's uncomfortable in the beginning. It's very uncomfortable. But you're growing, you're maturing. You need somebody that's going to show you affection and pay attention to you and pay attention to the details of your life. Not just look at you at blanketed and see you getting older and say, I don't have time for this. I don't want to fool up with this. Look at the child or the children that's coming around now that's checking on you. This is how you depends on what you want in life. You want somebody to take care of you, and because as you get older, you want people to be around you. You see, you want people. You with parents when you choose who's going to take care of you, you have already listen. You already know who those children are going to be, which child. And it does not mean you love them more. You just require something. You know what you're going to require, and you know which children does not have the capacity to give you the things that you're going to require in your latter parts of your life. You know what you need, and you need to choose wisely. You don't choose that child that's going to just, you cough wrong, they're going to throw you in a nursing home. So you see your children now who comes around, who checks on you, who texts you, who stop by and don't need anything, saying, Mama, Daddy, I'm just coming by to check on you and to tell you that I love you. I'm stopping by to say, hey, do you need anything? So you got to watch those attributes. This is what you're going to need as you get older. You're going to need your children or somebody that is going to love you genuinely and handle you with such care and handle you with such tenderness. If they don't handle you with tenderness now, oh, I know parents aggravate you because they're calling you, right? And so if you respond, I'm just tired of that. I'm tired of them calling, tired of it. No, they don't want you to take care of them in their latter parts of their life, because if you tired of them now when they're not sick, what are you going to do with them? Why would you choose that person? They're tired of you now. They get tired of hearing from you now. They're bickering now about how you always need them. So you don't want to choose that person in your latter parts of the life of your life. You need people that's you watching what you need. You know what you need. You need somebody that's tender. You know somebody that's going to be affectionate and handle you with care and not just, frustration every time you ask them to do something or rolling their eyes. That's not the person you're going to choose to take care of you in your latter parts of the life. That's not who you're going to put in charge of your life. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. So I want to say this: when your parents choose you, it's honorable. It's really freaking honorable. When they choose you, or when they choose whoever they choose, it could be more than one, but don't try to get everybody to come in because everybody can't do the same thing. You know who to put in charge of what. It is so freaking honorable to have a parent that says, I'm choosing you because this is what I need. You have the capacity. And parents, don't act like, don't act like you don't do this. You know what you're going to need. You need somebody with the capacity to give you what you need in your latter parts of your life. It's not you chose them because you love them better. You chose them because they have the capacity to give you what you need. It's not that you choose children because you favor them more. You choose them because they have the capacity. It's in them. You've been watching them since they were kids. You know who's temperamental. You already know who's impatient. You know those who's going to just love you, respect you, wait on you without signs of frustration, without signs of arguing and cussing them out. If your children cussing you out now and you ain't sick, what you think they're gonna do when you get sick? Don't put those people in charge. Don't. And don't feel no ways about it. Don't feel, oh, I don't want them to feel a certain way because I'm gonna choose them. No, ma'am. No, sir. You're gonna have a miserable end of life trying to appease your children, but you need to choose the ones that has the capacity to give you what you need. It's honorable, not it's not anything else. It's honorable. I remember, and this it doesn't matter who gets upset about it. I remember my mother told me, this is so sensitive to me and it's emotional. She said, I chose you to be my power of attorney because I trust you with my life. Jesus Christ. You know how honorable that was? Have a parent tell you, I chose you because I trust you with my life. That's a lot. That is so honorable. Jesus. Give me a moment. Please give me a moment. Because it's emotional because it says, not that, listen, I can't speak for nobody else. Please give me a moment. Okay. I didn't come over here for this. But that's honorable. To say I've watched you long enough to trust you with my life. She said, I need somebody who's going to fight for me. Because she didn't want nobody just throwing her away. Does it say that nobody else, how do I say this? It doesn't say, and I want to give you an example. Oh, Lord, this is more challenging than I thought. I want to say this in such a fair way. I want to say this in such a fair way. Oof. Okay, so see, here it is, 8.5 years later. You see how emotional I get about my mom? It feels like today it happened, right? I don't want my nieces and nephews going through what I'm currently going through. I don't. I want them to live better. I don't want this to be the example of how you carry your life after your parents are gone. I don't want them to experience what I am currently experiencing. Those who choose to fight still 8.5 years later over what position, over what the choices were, right? I want to try to give an example. Between me and one of my other brothers, I love him dearly and he loves me. Trust me. My brothers can't even come to him about me. They've tried, but that's just not how it's going to be. And I want to just share. Me and my brother Earl, we've always been close. He was the baby, and then I became the baby. Let me just give you an example. One time he tickles me though. God, my brother. Because he has, if my brother was on here, y'all see me traveling with him. But he don't have no, he doesn't have, he can't pump his brakes. Once he gets started, it is a wrap. One time, my mother was in the hospital for something. My brother Earl was sitting there. There was a foreigner. The doctor was a foreigner. So, they're kind of like doctors taught to be, detached from whatever you're going through, right? My brother's sitting there hurting. He hate to see the declination of my mother's health, the declination of her health. And it bothers him. It hurt him. I remember him telling my mom, he said, she was like, well, what's wrong with you? She said, Mama, when you hurt, I hurt. And that's how it should be. When our parents hurt, we should hurt too. We don't just sit there numb. You understand? And so the doctor came in. My mother was on the phone with somebody. And the doctor came in, was kind of jazzy. He wanted to say something. Well, I'll wait till you get off the phone. I'll wait till you. It was the way he said it. Well, I understood culture too, culturally, the way the people think and move. And my brother almost shut that hospital down. They called security. Man, you don't talk to my mama like that. Because this is a whole different. This is her child. This is his mother, and he shut it down based on how he talked to her. But I had to speak to him. I said, "You got to understand the culture of these people. There's a foreigner. They're not da 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 da." Now it's not that Earl couldn't take care of it. He was just going to destroy everybody while doing it because he's so protective. He is one of the most protective people in our family. He protect who he loves. He does. That's just Earl. Now, me on the other hand, I would have one. The I understand their culture, the foreigners' culture, and then doctors. They can't be emotional, and they can't. They're just the way they talk, right? It's certain, but Earl was not just going to let that man. He saw it as disrespect. So it's not that he couldn't do it. It's just that if you moved wrong, you wouldn't be there to take care of her because by the time he finished, they ended up calling security because he had set that hospital. You ain't gonna talk to my mama like that. See, so that's funny. I love him because he'd be the same way about me. One of my brothers tried to go to him about me, and I'm telling you, it was over. Like really, really over. Glad I got out of that mode. All right, so she said, I trust you with my life, and I need somebody that's gonna fight for me. So she have always seen that I would be interactive with doctors. I asked questions. I didn't just take her to the doctor's appointment and leave her there. I asked questions. I questioned the doctors. What is this? What is this? What is this? And if somebody did something that I didn't like, I immediately handled it uh, in a way, stern way. I handle it in a stern, professional way because there's a professional side of me. There is another side. There are two sides to this coat. There is another side that it depends on what it calls for. If I need to fight fire with fire, I know how to do that too. But I'll try to go ahead and put it out with the extinguisher. But if you need me, I know how to fight fire with fire. I can. I know you say you can't, but I will. I fight. I know how to fight fire with fire. But I know in her case, I needed to be very gentle and sensitive. So she watched how all of she just I was affectionate towards her, right? I don't want to get too far into that because what I really want to say is to my nephews and nieces especially, When your parents choose whoever they choose, don't be jealous. Please, don't be jealous. Whoever their choices are, whatever their choices are, what I want you to do is support their choice or choices. Get behind and rally behind who your parents or parent chose. And you ask, what is it that I need to do to support you in this? And you need to address the insecurities. And this is why you should train your children now. Start talking to them now. Hey, I need y'all to support each other. Whoever I choose to do this, y'all get behind them. And you, because supporting them, supporting my choice means you're supporting me. That's what you got to understand. I don't want my nephews and nieces, whenever their parents transition, to be fighting and trying to make it hard for the person that they chose, that the parents chose to run things or to take care of things and to distribute whatever needs to be distributed. Parents, make a living will. Uh, do the necessary steps now so that when you're gone, your children ain't fighting and shooting and cutting and fussing the rest of their life. I don't want my nephews and nieces going through what I am going through at this very moment. I want y'all to have a peaceable life. And whoever your parents choose, get behind them 1000%, please. Because when you support and get behind the choices of your parents, you are supporting the parents or that parent. Don't get mad and in your feelings and this one did like she liked this one better than that one because this is what they chose. No, your parents choose according to the capacity of their children. They choose according to what they need. Don't fight who your parents chose. Don't fight that. Support it. When you get behind the people or the person that your parents chose, it makes life so much easier. So start dealing with your insecurities now. Start dealing with that. Your parents deal with their children based on their personality. If you are to yourself and you don't go around them much, then that's on you. And sometimes you have this bickering going on with families. I got this is going on right now, and I do not want my nephews and nieces experiencing what I am experiencing. But trust and know and believe. My mother knew I could square my shoulders. And now, if I stood up for her, I certainly can stand up for myself. She knew I would stand and square my shoulders and take on the brunt of narcissism, the brunt of jealousy, the brunt of hatred, the brunt of insecurities, the brunt of maliciousness. She knew that when she made the choice. Whew, God, that got emotional for a while. So I want y'all. I mean, yeah, I got family members fighting now, 8.5 years later. I don't understand it because some people just refuse to grow. They just won't grow, and all they know to do is fight because they still mad about the choices that was made. I have moved on. I live in a whole nother country, but don't. And the goal is to make it hard because they're still fighting that insecurity and that jealousy and that anger about a decision that a parent made. Let's change this for this generation. Let's change this. Start talking to your children now. Say, I need y'all to stick together. And whatever I choose, it doesn't mean I love this one better. I just have seen the attributes and their character, and this is what I'm going to need. If you support me, support my choice. If you support me, support my choice. Go ahead and put it in writing, y'all. Don't wait till you get on your sick bed and then because you don't want to offend your children. Don't wait till you get on your sick bed and just let everything go. Don't wait for that. Do it now. You have seen your children grow up. You know who's going to take care of you. You already know this. Put it in writing. So when you can't make decisions for yourself, you trust the person that you put in place to make the decision for you. And the person can't, you got to pick somebody that has been around you enough to know you and to know your needs. I remember coming home one day. I just thought I saw little things. I remember flying to visit home one day, visit my mom, and she was sitting on the porch. And I remember, God, please help me. I don't know if I will ever get over this pain. It's been 8.5 years later. I just don't know. I hear that people don't get over it, but it's been 8.5 years that there has been a void. And I get teary eyed and I get emotional and I need more therapy. I do. I need to go back to therapy. I remember driving to Florida, and my mother was sitting on the porch. And I don't know if I had gotten my luggage out of my car. And I'm seeing her sitting there, and then I'm looking at her feet. And I noticed her toenails hadn't been clipped. Now, I had a brother that was there. One of my brothers, Leonard, was there at the time. And I trust me, I love my brothers. God knows. And then I have a sister. I love my sister. I do. My love for them has not changed, but who I let into my presence has. Like, I don't give people access anymore, you know, to my presence. That's all I'm saying. And I remember the first thing I said, because I paid attention, I have to say this, I'm a detailed person. I paid attention to the details of her life. She's always known that. Hey, mom, what's going on right here? Look at this. Wait, what is this? And I noticed her toenails hadn't been clipped. And what did I do? I went in there and I made some water and got some stuff together, put her feet in that water, massaged her feet, clipped her toenails, and my luggage wasn't even out my car. I saw something that needed to be done. And I knew that if I was in this position, I would want somebody to keep me up, like take care, like really keep me groomed. Don't let me go out of here looking a mess. Toenails growing and won't be cut. Hair, do my hair, cut my hair, do something. Don't have me sitting there looking like Wolfgang Pooh. And I put my mama feet in that basin or whatever that was at the time. And I started massaging her feet. I had oils in there and I started clipping her toenails and I would just start massaging her feet. And she was like, yeah, right there. Oh, yeah. And she never had, so that is so funny to me. And my brother Leonard was standing there. He says, boy, God knows what child is going to do what. Like, everybody has a different personality because they couldn't do that. It's just not, it wasn't, he was acknowledging it's not in them to do it. But I saw it and I said, my mother ain't gonna look a mess. And he acknowledged that. Another thing, when our mother was in St. Augustine, after she had, my mother had, she had multiple myeloma. Sorry. She had multiple myeloma and her thigh bone broke. That is the longest and strongest bone in the body. That was a problem. When the longest, strongest bone in your body breaks, that is a sign of a problem. But that cancer was running through those bones, right? And I got the call that our mother had a seizure. I said, what? She's never had a seizure. What is this? This was after the surgery. Yes. I got there so fast. My mother could not talk. All she was doing. She was trying to talk to me. Now, my brother was there, Leonard was there, and I believe my sister in law, Net, was there with him. I think, but I know for sure my brother. Yes, they were both. Maybe she was working, but Leonard was there. And I came to that hospital and I started asking questions because I know she had never had a seizure. I started asking questions, and I'm going here for a reason. And I said, no, 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 let me see her blood pressure. What was her blood pressure when you did the surgery? I want the paperwork. Show me this. And I said, and prove to me that she had a seizure. I want you to, they did it's not an EKG, I think it's an EEG or something like that. And, but I was in a whole other mode because I had to handle it. Now, my brother was sitting there, and then I said, show me that she had a seizure. So they did the whole thing. While they were doing that, I asked to see her blood pressure. What the day that she got the surgery, because they had to put a rod in her, a rod to join her hip and whatever that bone is that broke. And while they were doing that, I already asked. I wanted to see what her blood pressure was when they did the surgery, because I know that if that blood pressure is high, you can't do no surgery. I know that. And then, and then, oh God! And then when I got to the doctor, to the nurse, they weren't moving fast enough. I said, "Ma'am, where is the result of my mother's blood pressure when you all did the surgery?" Right? She said, "Well, Mr. Battles, da da da." I said, wait. She said, "We don't have any paper." I said, "Do I need to go buy you some paper? Because I need to know what my mother's blood pressure was when you did the surgery, because I know if a blood pressure was high, you weren't supposed to do the surgery." The lady over there doing an EEG, I think, oh, my niece, I love you. The lady was doing an EEG. I don't think it's an EKG. They was trying to show me where the brain waves or whatever. And then the lady sneezed over my mother. And I turned that hospital out. I said, if you cannot show me, I said, first of all, ma'am, I said, did you just sneeze over my mother? Oh, don't do that. Ma'am, don't do that. And so I said, if you cannot show me, and I called the doctor, I said, if you cannot show me that my mother had a seizure, I want you to take her off the seizure medicine, because I know and you know that if you put her on seizure medicine, it tricks her body into having seizures. And if you can't prove that to me now, I want you to stop all seizure medication. They stopped that medication because they couldn't prove to me. I said, because you're going to trick her body into having seizures. And something my brother Leonard said to me, and I appreciate this. I do. I'm going to say it again. I love my family. I've always been supportive of my family. I've always been consistent with my love for my family. But I don't give people access like that anymore. Once you cross certain lines, sometimes you can just go too far. And you have to guard your peace. My brother said to me, he said to Rounds, because that's my name too. He said, I learned something from you. He said, you're the youngest. He said, but today I learned something from you. I said, what? He said, I learned to ask questions. And not just take what the doctors say. Just because she had a seizure doesn't mean, I said, because if you can't prove to me she had a seizure, why are you giving her seizure medication? Because that tricks her body into having seizures. So what I am saying to my people, my nephews and nieces, please hear me. Whatever the choices are of your parents, support their choices. It is not that they love one more than the other. They choose the people or person with the capacity. Don't fight your parents' choices. Support their choices. When your parents choose one, two, three to support them, everybody should rally behind the person that they chose to make decisions. Please support them. I don't want my nephews and nieces fighting over the choices of their parents. They're gone at this point sometimes. Let's break this curse. It is a curse for people to be bickering, fighting over choices that a parent made about their life. If your parent choose two people and they got eight people, six people, everybody should come and support and ask, what is it that I can do to support you in this? Because supporting you is supporting my mama. Supporting you is supporting my father. I don't want them fighting like they see what's going on in our family. We got to break this curse. It is a curse to leave people here in their fight. Deal with your insecurities now. Deal with it now, please. Because when they're dead and gone, y'all don't need to be, y'all need to find a way to jail and to make your family stronger. Not divisive and trying to divide because this one is mad because this one was chosen to do this, that, and the other. It's easier when you can support each other, get behind the goal and the vision of what your parents have left in place. Time is short, y'all. I swear to you, time is short, and none of us know when our clock is going to strike 12. Get your stuff in order. Let's change the trajectory of where this generation is going. Because if you leave a generation that's fighting, 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 the next generation gonna be fighting, fighting, fighting. And nobody has time to fight. If you're spending your time fighting, how much time do you spend loving each other? You're too busy fighting. And there's a sword that divides and separate. Divide and separate. It's about dividing and separating because somebody mad about something. That's all I'm saying. I want my people to really do better. I don't want y'all going through what we are going through right now. Just support what they left. Support the decision. And parents, some of y'all my nephews and nieces got children. You already know. You watching your children now. You know who's going to have the capacity to do listen, you need somebody that's going to be caring. You need somebody that's going to check on you when they don't need nothing. You need somebody to say, hey, mama, I'm just coming by. Hey, daddy, I'm just coming by to check on you. Do you need anything? What do you need from me? How can I help you? Do you need me to come clean up for you? Those are things that parents look at and they make their decisions because in the end of their life, they need somebody to go say, hey, mama, hey, daddy, what do you need? Come on, pull the family together. We're going to make sure our parents don't have to fight for this. Y'all are older now. Let's do it for you. You had us for a reason. We're going to support you now. Don't be fighting that one because the parent says, I want this one to do this and I want this one to do that. And the rest, it doesn't mean they don't love you. They made a decision about what they need. They have watched what child carries the capacity to give them what they need. Everybody should rally behind the people that they chose, not fight them. Like, why? Because now you're hurting your parents. When you support what the parents have decided, y'all, I'm telling you, this is no way to live. It ain't no way you're going to live the rest of your life fighting and not living your life based on a decision that a parent or parents made. Get behind the child or the children that your parents chose to do whatever they want to do, right? Because every parent knows what they need at the end of life. They know. So they're going to choose the ones who have the capacity, the one that has been coming around the most, the one that has been checking on them the most, the one that paid attention to them, pay attention to little things. Mama, daddy, you don't look well today. What's going on? You look stressed. Parents need that kind of interaction. They already know. So what you do, get behind the people they chose. Say, no, we're not fighting. I've seen this already. I've seen how this turned out. We're not fighting. We ain't bickering. We're gonna come, hey sis, hey bro, what do you need? Because I know you got a lot going on in your life right now. Let me give you a break. Because you need a break. Let me give you a break. I'm glad my nephew was there to help take care of me. I would have moved back. I told my mom, I said, I would move back to take care of you. But my nephew was there, and I thanked him for it. So you rally behind the people that was put in place. Stop fighting. Stop being jealous. It ain't that you are better than, or oh, mama think, daddy think, oh, well, that's their favorite. It's not the favorite. They watch what child has the capacity to give them what they need in their latter parts of their life. And your job as a sister or a brother is to rally behind the choices of your parents. Y'all, stop this. I don't want my nephews and nieces going through what I am currently going through. I listen, I can square my shoulders. I can handle that. But I don't want this to trickle down because we'll have generation after generation after generation fighting, 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 still mad about choices. Support them. Don't don't be like that, please. It's heartbreaking to watch siblings quarrel over nothing. When it really look down at it, when you really look down to the nitty gritty, it is about ego, narcissism. And don't you be that person. Don't you be that sibling that want to bring division because you couldn't have your way. Don't be that child that want to bring division and cause everybody to be at odds because you weren't chosen to do something. Don't be that. Because if so, you're always, and then this is what I want my nephews and nieces, and I'm saying this for everybody, but I'm really crying out for my nephews and nieces because I don't want them to go through what I'm going through. Don't find ways to fix it. Find ways to fix your relationship, right? Find ways. Be proactive and say, hey, I noticed such and such and such. Let's have a talk about it. Find ways to keep the family unit together. And then don't be that sibling. Don't be that sibling. Oh, God. That will turn against another sibling based on that sibling don't like this one. You know what you tell them? You know what? Whatever y'all got going on, I'm out of it. But what I won't do is fight them. Whatever y'all got, y'all got. Y'all need to work that out. But I am not going to join your army to fight a person that you don't like or fight a person that you're jealous. Have a strong enough mind to say, no, it won't be me. I'm not in this war. This is your war. Don't pull me into your fight. And I'm not going to fight this person because you want to fight them. Have that mindset. And then you can cut out a lot of the division makers in your family. I swear to you, I do not want my nephews and nieces experiencing what I'm experiencing right now. Stand up for your brothers and sisters. And if sibling, because you're gonna have times where you don't get along. But when someone is malicious and one ego, somebody's ego is gonna get in the way, you talk to that ego. Say, no, I'm not gonna fight my sister. Y'all work that out. We're going out to dinner. You see, this is how you cut this stuff down. And in our black unit and black families, we just spend just lives, just life, just fighting. When you live life, if you're spending it fighting, and don't let nobody come between your relationships. Don't even let another sibling come between your relationship that you have with your siblings based on insecurities. That's no way to live. And I don't wish this on anybody. I don't. Again, family, whatever your parents' choices are, don't fight their choices. It's not that they chose you because it's not that they chose them because they love them better. They had a capacity that they need. They needed somebody with a see, they know what they need. So they choose the people or the person that's going to exemplify that. Because this person has always shown this. You've always shown that you cared about me. You've always checked on me. You've always came to me. You've always had a listening ear to what I had, how I felt. And parents want that in the latter parts of their life. So ain't nobody, you don't need nobody get mad because your parents or parent has chosen that, because they're choosing something that's going to work for them in the latter parts of their life. So you get behind the people or the person that your parents chose and you support that. You work with that. When you see they're getting tired, say, hey, sis, hey, brother, you want need me to step in? Because I know you're tired. Let's take some of the weight off. Or you need this. I know you've been running, going to see daddy, going to see mama. Do you need we can step in. I can keep your children for you. You want me to keep your come as a unit. Don't be fighting. Oh, yeah, since they didn't choose me, I'm not doing it. No, that's not the attitude to have. You can save yourself a lot of trouble, a lot of energy when you can just support what was left in place. I love y'all. I know I've been emotional on this live and on my YouTube channel, those of you that are there. I want to turn this thing around and I want to reflect a different light. Yeah, I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing, but let's pull the light out of this. And let's show you how to live. I've experienced it. I have been experiencing it for years. I just move on, but I don't want my babies because these are my babies. I don't want my nephews and nieces. I don't want this to trickle down to them. This is not the example for you. I'm telling you, those of you that are going to, I love y'all. Those of you that are going to chime in and listen to this whole, because it's long. I didn't mean for it to be this long. I don't want this to be your example. This is not how you to live. This ain't it. This is not it. This is not how you live as a family unit. I'm telling you, this is not it. And I want to show you a different light, a different path to take, because it's not a good path that we're on right now as a family. It's not. It's not. You're gonna always have one that's gonna try to divide. And you know what you have to do? You have to tell them, no, I'm not a part of that. 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 That's your issue with him. That's your issue with them. That's your issue with her. I'm not going to join your army to fight somebody that you're upset with. We're not doing that. And I don't want my nieces and nephews doing that amongst their siblings. I'm telling y'all, this is not the way to live. Now, if you take any advice from your uncle, this ain't it. This is not how you live life. You don't live life fighting each other and mad. And if you got a disagreement, I've said it before. Sometimes your teeth will bite your tongue, but you don't cut that tongue out because it got in the way of the teeth. And you don't pluck your teeth out because your teeth bit your tongue. You find a way, if any way possible. We had a disagreement, but learn how to disagree agreeably. That don't mean because we didn't see eye to eye that we got to destroy each other. And we got to pluck you out. Now there is a thing called you've gone too far. I'm telling you. There is a place you can hit that you can just really go too far. And then you got to pull back. Because you can't let people continue to hurt you and do whatever. But this is a cry out to my nieces and nephews. I want y'all to support each other. I do. I got a lot of nieces and nephews, but y'all support each other. And when one fall out with the other, y'all tell them, now I'm not going to get into that. I'm not in that. But I want y'all find a way to mend if you can. If you can't, go your way, but be cordial and be respectful. Go your way, keep your distance, and hopefully you can come back together and build back up. And don't expect for the relationship to be the same after it has been ripped and torn apart. You have to enjoy the relationship, that the new level of relationship that it's on. Never go back into a situation thinking it's going to be the same way it was. That's false expectation. False. We got a lot of people fighting. A lot of people. I remember my cousin Betty. Her mother, my aunt, said, Betty gonna take care of me. I'm not worried about anything, blase, blase. And guess what? At the end of her life, her family, the ones that wanted to come together, came and said, well, mama said this, da 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 da, this is what we're gonna do. It, well, what is it to talk about? Because they already made a choice. Don't fight each other based on the choices that your parents made. You support the choices your parents made, and that is how you support your parents. And then you won't go through life fighting the rest of your life. They're dead and gone at this point, at some point. And y'all still bickering and fighting about a choice that was made because somebody was insecure. Somebody was a narcissist. They're the narcissistic. Somebody ego got in the way. Somebody mad because they weren't the choice. Listen, you all are chosen. You're the chosen ones. You're chosen. You are chosen to do different things in life. Support each other, build a bridge, not a wedge. Build a bridge. Don't build a wedge. Because you can't, your parents will be gone and y'all will still be trying to figure out how to destroy each other. And there's no way you can live your life like that. There's no way you can be living life like that. I love y'all. Please hear me. Hear my heart. Hear my heart. This is not what you all are seeing, is not the example how you ought to live. I'm telling you, this is not it. I love y'all dearly. Thank y'all for chiming in. Yes, Vivian. I see all of us have different personalities. Really, we all have different personalities. And our mother dealt with us different ways. Some she would joke with. Some she would joke with in a stern way. Some that she didn't joke with, but she was whatever she was with them. I can't be mad because I was I was the child that could tell her what to do, and she'd do. She would. I would. I remember one time, me and my mother was going somewhere, and I said, "I'm coming to pick you up." And my mother walked out the door, and I said, "Where you going with all them colors on?" Look at you, but jokingly. But I was like, "Oh no, you're gonna have to put something else on." See, but all the other children, they couldn't do that. That was just a way I dealt with it, and not in a disrespectful way. I said, Mama, where you going? You got these socks on with this color? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We're gonna go back in the house. We're gonna start over. But that is the relationship I had with her. It wasn't disrespectful. If I told her, "Oh no, put some clothes on. We're going here," it was nothing to debate. Now my other siblings, this, hey mama, you need to go somewhere. Oh no, I already know because she don't want to bother nobody. Oh no, I don't. I said, because see, they just saw it as respectful manner. They gonna ask, do you need to do this? Do you need to do this? But they ain't gonna say, I need you to put some clothes on. We're going here. That was me. That was my personality. And every parent, every child has a different connection, but it don't mean that this is a child that the parent loved the most. It is just your personality. Y'all jail. Y'all can laugh. Y'all, I had my mother sitting on the floor and I was stretching her. I said, we're gonna stretch today. That was just what I did, right? So y'all have your individual relationships with your parents. But when they make a choice, don't go to war. That's all I'm saying. And to my family, this is to my family. What you're seeing right now, don't do it. This is not the way to live. It is not. I promise you, it is not. It's not, you don't fight each other. If you can't get along, get away from each other until you can. but don't fight each other based on the choices your parents made. Hey, James, what's happening? Listen, I gotta go because I'm tired. I'm in Houston, Texas right now, and I got some people I need to see. And so I wanted to share because I want to share. I want to change the light. I want to change the. It's all about making a difference, and I want to change that for my people and anybody else. If you listen and adhere to what I'm saying, it'll be better. Now, is this fight gonna stop? I don't know, but I'm not fighting. I'll speak out when it's time to speak out. But I really do live the life that I love, and I love the life that I live. I really do. I travel the world, and have been traveling since 1992. Like literally, I have been a traveler since 1992. This is what I enjoy doing. So, and I just wish I would want for people. Yeah, I know I don't live in the U.S. I'm here a lot sometimes. Well, here and there, but I'm I would want my family to enjoy. I remember one time I was putting something together for my family, and then they showed me the left side of their cheeks, and I just said, "No, I can't do that." My energy is important to me, and what's around me, I got to be at peace. Peace is so important to me. And unfortunately, some people will stop growing at a certain age. Some people will stop growing. I will say this before I leave. I wanted to talk about this a long time ago because I knew some things. Like, really, I had evidence, all of that. But you know what took me so long to even start coming out about this stuff? I considered my nephews and nieces. I thought about how they would feel. I said, no, mm-mm, mm-mm. It took me this long because I considered them first. Because but naturally, I love them. I do. That'll never change. Ever. That'll never, ever, ever. And I'm not going to disrespect them. I love them to life. I do. Y'all be talking about you love people to death. I'm not speaking death over my people. I love them to life. I really do. All right. Please take that. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully. Um, is it going to change on my end? I don't know. But as it comes, I'll deal with whatever comes or ignore whatever comes. Because I have really definitely have moved with my life over 30 some years ago. And so y'all support each other, please. Will you? Don't don't get it. This example that y'all see that's going on with your parents and your uncle, that this is not how to do it. This is just really not the way. Now I will speak out against it. And I feel like that's my job at times. I got to let you know what's going on. I don't want people in the dark. You need to know, but I also want to show you how to deal with it and handle it and how to change that for your family if at all possible. All right. I love y'all. Thank you for chiming in.